Well, the stone has taught me absolutely humility in my life, because what a pleasure it is for me to be able to have the experience to work with something that is millions of years old, and yet I am creating something that is going to be pleasurable to someone for an infinite amount of time, for eternity. This stone that we're looking at is a little bit harder than alabaster, a little softer than marble. It's called chlorite, and it comes from the southern part of Alaska, northern Canada, up above Vancouver. What it will end up being is 3 Mobius ribbons intertwined, and I call it spirit cubed, because that is the influence of the spirits that have driven it. Even though the drawing is two-dimensional on the surface I'm working, you can see how it is going to lead to a third dimension, and as we walk around the stone, then the viewer also will be able to walk around this stone and see it from all sides. The saw probably weighs about 17 or 18 pounds, but it is also resting on the stone, so really it is not a weight to me. I'm just guiding it across as you would a pencil. I'm not conscious of the sound at all as I'm working with it. Mainly I've got the earphones on, and probably that blocks out most of it, but my concentration is where that saw is going and how it's going to get to its next destination. I think the first time that I really became aware of stone sculpture as a separate art form was when I was living in Europe at compliments of the U.S. Army. But I visited Italy and the beautiful sculptures of that area. And even though I couldn't touch them, I had that sensation that I had to touch them somewhere, someday. And I feel that in my art today, the pleasure of being able to touch the stone. And even in galleries, there are please touch signs on my work. If you look, you see one design here, but you also see a duplicate of this design here. It's just as important that you look at the negative space because of the shadows you're going to see, the smoothness of it, whereas you've got turns and twists here. So the negative space in sculpture does play a very important part of it. I found that it was the soft, gentle curves that attracted me more, and by combining Mobius ribbons and soft, gentle curves that are very sensuous, it made my carving a lot more fun. And so that's how I got to the stage of doing abstract or non-representational art forms that were pleasing to the touch. This was a very challenging piece, and it is one of the designs that I enjoy doing. The idea is that it is one continuous ribbon that comes back through itself. This is from one block of stone. Mobius strips have become the sign for infinity, and it leaves you with a very ethereal feeling that they go on infinitely. You can follow forever and ever and only touch one side of it because you keep making the 180-degree turns. Every bit of it is a challenge to some degree, and it's the challenge that certainly motivates me to continue. And you'd never know when a corner may appear that you have to go around that you weren't expecting. And so you have to always be prepared for that and be thinking ahead as to where I'm going, what the future in this adventure where it will lead.